Adobe is continuing their creative app monopoly by acquiring Figma in what looks about like a $20 billion deal. And the really interesting, and for those of you who don't know, Figma, it's I guess like a creative design and production app. What a lot of like creative designers will typically use.
It's mainly for like websites and apps.
Right, right. And one of the things that is really interesting to me is that Adobe has steadily been doing this the last few years. I mean, even Photoshop was an acquisition, and we've seen it with other apps that they've kind of continued to gather and grow their little conglomerate of the creative apps. And what's fascinating about me too is that the CEO and I guess like the chief product officer, he came out and said that he's going to give them complete autonomy, meaning he wants to just allow Figma to continue to operate as Figma, just now under Adobe. And so Adobe, I guess, their version of Figma was like Adobe XD, but it looks like they're going to be kind of replacing that with Figma, and that's what they'll kind of satisfy those customers with, and they'll give them the opportunity to use Figma. So just very interesting. If you guys got any thoughts on that?
I think it's really interesting to see the moves that Adobe's been making recently. Like you said, they've been picking up other companies like Framed.io, which is a video production app, Behance, which is just like a really good app for designers to show off their work. And now with picking up Figma, it's like, I wonder if someone's going to step in at some point and be like, hey, you guys are literally dominating this market. There's not much competition there. And if they can keep doing this.
Yeah. A couple things that I want to address in this article. The first thing is this acquisition of Figma was actually the most in value as an acquisition for a software as a service company, which is crazy. You actually saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that Adobe might have overpaid for Figma, considering that they do have such a powerhouse in the market, in the creative marketplace, that maybe they spent way too much to acquire Figma. But the Adobe CEO says that we think that Figma's worth that value, and we want to pay for that's what we want to pay for it. But you're 100% right. I mean, thinking about design for websites and just apps in general, Adobe has Adobe Dreamweaver. They have the XD platform that we've talked about, and it'll be really interesting. I think the only reason why you can't really come after them for a monopoly is because you have sites like Canva, and you have sites like Animoto and all these other different online platforms that you can make videos. It's a lot of different third-party companies outside of the Adobe suite, but obviously that the number one industry leader for all these creative products of what pretty much we use on a daily basis as well as Adobe.